Welcome into this episode of the Huddle Up Podcast. As always, I am your host, Taylor Sharp. And today, an article was put out by CBS Sports of ranking every AFC team post-NFL draft. So what they did in the offseason, the draft picks they made, and what they think they're going to do in the 2025 NFL season. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans are last on that list at number 16. That makes a lot of sense. There was a reason why they had the number one pick. As great as some people think Cam Ward's going to be, I don't think the team is going to be very good in 2025, so I'm perfectly okay with putting the Tennessee Titans last. But look, the teams I want to highlight here quickly are the ones that were in the top four. At number 4, they have the Denver Broncos. I get it. You added R.J. Harvey in the offseason in that NFL draft. I think one of the most underrated players in that NFL draft as far as running backs go. A little undersized, but super productive. I mean, double-digit touchdowns, about 1,500 yards rushing last year at UCF. A really solid player. You signed Evan Ingram in free agency since he left the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a really nice signing for Bo Nix. We know that Bo Nix loves to target his tight ends. And then on the defensive side of things, one, you already had a pretty solid defense. You added Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, the really good safety from the San Francisco 49ers, and you drafted Jahdae Barron in the first round of the NFL draft. I really like what the Denver Broncos have done. Free agency in the NFL draft. You did a nice job of surrounding Bo Nix offensively and defensively with the right pieces to succeed. I think they're going to be better on offense. I just mentioned the multiple weapons that they've added. And that defense, as good as it was a year ago, I think has a chance to be elite. I think maybe by November, we're looking right now and saying the Denver Broncos are the best defense in the NFL. You watch week 10, 11, 12. Watch and see if the Denver Broncos aren't in that top 2, 3, 4 spots in the NFL. I think they could potentially be the best defense in the NFL. I am good with them being at 4. At number 3, they have the Buffalo Bills. And I get it. The Buffalo Bills can still not get over the hump that is the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't do a ton offensively. I mean, I thought they added some nice pieces overall in free agency. But on the CBS piece, the reasoning was, well, they can't get over the Kansas City Chiefs. I understand that, but you're going to put them at number 3? And you can say, okay, well, the lack of weapons. Last year, everyone said coming into the season, what the hell are the Buffalo Bills doing? This is one of the worst receiver rooms in the NFL. Josh Allen has no weapons around him. And what happened? He won MVP. He had one of his most consistent, one of his most efficient seasons since he's been in the NFL. And they made it to the AFC Championship game. I mean, I don't know what else you need Josh Allen to do to prove that he can do it regardless of the talent around him. I think he is a top 2 quarterback in this league right now as we sit. Josh Allen's the man. He deserved to win MVP last season. I think I would put them a little bit higher than that number 2 spot, but I get it. I get it. There's a team out there that nobody seems to be able to beat, and they're going to be ranked ahead of the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of that number 2 spot, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. You don't know about their weapons offensively, but again, a lot like I just mentioned with Josh Allen, has it ever really mattered with Patrick Mahomes? People said this when they lost Tyreek Hill. Didn't matter. Patrick Mahomes went on to win a Super Bowl after. Even last year, at times, Travis Kelce had disappeared in large portions of games. Everyone said that they didn't have enough weapons last year. Guess what? They made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Isaiah Pacheco, when healthy, is a really good running back. But guess what? He was injured most of the season last year, and somehow it didn't matter. Patrick Mahomes found a way to lead his team to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be okay defensively. They were really good defensively a year ago. That kind of carried them in a lot of those games. Because you go look at Mahomes' numbers from a year ago, they were good. They were good numbers. I'm not saying Mahomes had a bad year at all. That's not at all what I'm saying. They weren't that elite number that we were used to seeing, right? It was his numbers had dipped just slightly. That's because of the lack of weapons offensively. However, Xavier Worthy, another year in the NFL. We're going to see what he does on the outside. Travis Kelce came back, and word is he's lost about 20 to 25 pounds trying to get in shape. A lot of people believe this could be his last year in the NFL, but Travis Kelce trying to stay in shape, definitely taking this thing serious, trying to make one more run at it with his partner in crime, Patrick Mahomes. So they have the Kansas City Chiefs in that 2 spot. In the number 1 spot on this ranking, according to this article put out by CBS Sports, they have the Baltimore Ravens. It makes sense on paper. They had a pretty good draft. I thought they did good offensively, defensively, between the draft and free agency. You have Derrick Henry back. You know what Lamar Jackson can do. You got him some weapons on the outside. On paper, that looks good. The problem is, I can't rank the Baltimore Ravens that high. The problem they had with the Buffalo Bills was saying, okay, well, they can't get over the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, the Baltimore Ravens can't even get over the Buffalo Bills. They can't even get to the Chiefs. And I get it. In terms of a regular season quarterback, there might not be a better one out there than Lamar Jackson. But it's a different story come playoff time. And look, you guys think I'm lying? Let me show you his numbers. These are career numbers. First off, he has a 3-5 record in the playoffs for his entire career. So that's 8 games. In 8 games, 10 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, he had a good game last year. He brought his team back from what looked like the dead against the Buffalo Bills, got him back in that game. Yeah, only because he made 2 really, really bad mistakes in the first half. Yes, he had that interception. When you look at his total numbers, though, 18 of 25, 254, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. That's fine. He didn't do very much on the ground, and he had a fumble in that game as well. Lamar Jackson is very efficient in the regular season. He has a high completion percentage. He doesn't turn the ball over. But when he gets into the playoffs and defenses tighten up, I don't know what the problem is. He just can't seem to do it, at least not consistently. He's had some flash performances in the playoffs. He's won some games, but he cannot do it consistently. Now, if you want to say regular season ranking of teams, maybe it is the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe they do have that number 1 seat, and I'm okay with that. But if you're talking season as a whole, regular season and postseason, I cannot with good conscience put the Baltimore Ravens in that number 1 spot until Lamar Jackson proves to me that he can get over the hump and be better in the postseason. And everyone's going to say, well, he wasn't bad. No, he wasn't bad. He was better than the really, really subpar play we had seen from him in years past. He wasn't great in the playoffs, though. If you want to win in this league, you have to be great in the playoffs. As much as Josh Allen can't get over the Kansas City Chiefs and his losing record, you go look at Josh Allen's numbers against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's good enough to win. There's no question about it. In my opinion, Lamar Jackson has not been good enough to win in the postseason. A 3-5 record, 60% completion when he's damn near a 70% passer in the regular season. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in 8 career playoff games. That's almost a turnover a game. That's less than 2 touchdowns a game. And that's just his interceptions. I'm not even talking about his turnovers, what he's done in that area as far as fumbles. He leaves a lot to be desired in the postseason. And for that reason, I cannot put the Baltimore Ravens at number 1. Look, until further notice, it's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills for me in the top 2 spots. And you can put them whichever way you want. Now, in the playoffs, you've got to favor Kansas City, right? They've been there, done that. They have the track record against the Buffalo Bills. But I can't in good conscience put the Baltimore Ravens over the Chiefs or the Bills until Lamar Jackson proves he can get it done in the playoffs. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Huddle Up Podcast. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment. I love to interact with everyone, and we'll see you next time on the Huddle Up Podcast.